All right, what's going on? We back. Motor City Sports Talk in the building. I appreciate everybody for checking in. Uh, let's talk some Detroit Lions football. We're gonna talk about the Lions' offensive need. We're gonna talk some Detroit Pistons as well. Are they coming back down to reality? So pretty much, let's get into it. Um, appreciate everybody for jumping in the building. The Godson 313, Maurice Trice, what's going on? Uh, uh, I'm left field. It's my opinion. I ain't say it was factual. It's my opinion. So either you respect it or you don't respect it, man. That's just I'm not gonna think like everybody else. I've been watching this team for a long time, and you referring to the Trey Flowers, I still don't like the pickup. It was stupid. I'm gonna stay saying that until I'm proven wrong. So, I don't think nobody know more about the Lions than me. Not too many people out there, unless you go back to the 70s, 60s, and 50s like that. This team is what it is, man. You know, it is what it is. A lot of people got a lot of fake hope in this team, and they're gonna keep doing the same shit. Like they trying to get this safety from Tampa Bay. They cheap in disguise. They got y'all, and they didn't go get none of the players they should have went to go get. Okay, they use money, they spend money where they don't need to spend money at. That's my problem with this team. When you want them to spend money on a guy, they don't spend money on him. They go spend money on another guy. We know it's other guys they could have spent that money on. They spent on Trey Flowers and Justin Coleman. Like I said, I'm not speaking on Justin Coleman because I haven't seen the guy play. But from everything I hear nationally, the Lions bombed on free agency. And at the end of the day, if old Martha is quicker on the trigger than our old man, then salute to her. Because, like I said before, I don't blame Bob Quinn for signing Matthew Stafford to get into the groove of things. Cornell Williams, salute. I agree. I'm not blaming them for Matthew Stafford. I think they were stuck with Matthew Stafford. They had to take him on. They had to give him that contract because Martha Ford demanded that Matthew Stafford be re-signed. She loves Matthew Stafford probably like a son. She loves Kelly. She loves the kids. It's personal. You know what I'm saying? And I can go back to Matt Millen. It was personal. Matt Millen told Mr. Ford, I don't have no experience running no team, man. He basically told him, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Take your time. Do what you need to do. He wasn't even going to fire Matt Millen when he went on 16. If it was up to him, he'd have retained Matt Millen. But the public pressure from the city made him retain Matt Millen. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't think Matthew Stafford days are numbered. I really don't. I believe it when I see it. I believe it when they find a formidable quarterback to back him up, not Connor Cook. They go in the draft and get a quarterback from round 1 to round 4 or 5, or 4. I say 4 to be safe. Then I believe that Matthew Stafford days might be numbered. You know what I'm saying? Then I believe it'll be numbered. It's all personal. It's the buddy system, man. It's the same way they were in corporate America. Certain dudes at your job is untouchable no matter what they do. Certain jobs, people are expendable. How do we bond Trey Flowers will set the edge for us. We need the pass rusher. He's not a pass rusher like for 15 or 17 million, whatever he got. He ain't that guy. You spend money on a pass rusher. I'm tired of regurgitating this. I'm gonna just say this one last time, John Martin. You spend money on a pass rusher in a pass rusher heavy draft. I just don't get it. You spend a ton of money when you didn't have to spend money at that position. That's one of the easiest positions to transition to in the NFL is defensive end pass rusher. Not saying it ain't a learning curve there, or it's easy to translate as easy as a running back, but that's an easy position to transition to. You had your pick of the litter at number 8 for a defensive end, but no, you don't trust you don't trust the evaluated defensive end good enough, so you go out there and spend money on Trey Flowers because they didn't spend money on Trey Flowers to come in and set the edge and come in and get 12 to 15 sacks a season because he ain't never done that before. They signed Trey Flowers because he was at the buddy system. He was with the buddy system. He know the Patriot way. He know the Patriot system. He was with the buddy system. That's what it come down to, my brother. We know him. We like him. He a good old boy. He gonna do what Bob and Matt Patricia say. He ain't gonna revolt like some of the Lions veterans. Let's bring him in and show the rest of the Lions how to fall in uniform to what we want you to do. That's what it's about. He got paid because he with the buddy system. You think, hold on, you think they would have got Trey Flowers here if he wasn't from New England? If he didn't do Matt Patricia, you think Patricia would have rated him the same way? No, he with the buddy system. You think Justin Coleman would have got that money if Patricia wasn't familiar with him in New England? No, he with the buddy system. That's just a fact. You tell me where I'm lying at. He's with the buddy system. You know? It ain't about evaluating just talent. Oh, he knows my system. Same thing with Ricky John Francois. I don't know why he won't know damn Ricky John last year. You know? I was not being familiar with the system, man. Anybody, man, I mean, all I'm saying is this. If he just did the buddy system, bro. That he know him, he know his personality. He want Trey Flowers to help him crack the whip in that locker room. It ain't about knowing the system. And motherfucker can learn the system, bro. You can plug anybody in there to learn that system, to be a system fit. It ain't about, I mean, how hard is it to rush the pass rusher and set the edge and play your gap? It's not hard to do that. It's not hard at all. It's not hard. Get some professional people. It ain't about professional, man. How you going to ask your players to be professional, but your ownership and your management are not professional? Y'all making me take this to left field. How you going to ask somebody to be professional, right? When your owner not professional. When your owner is telling people, oh, we only want high character guys, but all of a sudden you hire a coach that had a rape case that got thrown out because the woman was scared to pursue the rape case. How is that professional? You do a background check on all these players for the combine, but you don't do a background check on your head coach. How is that professional? How? So you asking the players to be professional when your ownership not professional and your management not professional and your coach is not professional. That's not right. This shit is the buddy system, man. That's what it is. It's the buddy system. It's the same way they work in the court system. You know, they give you a public defender, you ass out because the public defender is cool with the DA. While you sitting in the jail cell, they sitting there, you know, eating Benihana's together and eating Steak and Shake together, about to sell your ass to the prison system. That's just what it boiled down to. Same thing in corporate America. You got to keep your eyes open, man. It's all about who you know. You know, you can't tell me that you can't get more bang for your buck in the draft at defensive end than for Trey Flowers. Everybody in the national media, and the national media can be wrong. I can be wrong. Trey Flowers come in here and dominate. Inside, outside, he come here and dominate. I'm wrong. You know what? I don't have a problem with saying I was wrong. I'm wrong. Y'all was right. I mean, I can swallow my pride. It ain't nothing. I've been on this earth 30 years. Yesterday, I turned 30 years old. I don't care about being wrong or right. If I just care about the betterment of the Detroit Lions, that's all I care about. You know, that's what I care about. I hope it worked, but I'm just giving you the flip side. Like I said before, if you look at the market value, Fred Jackson, it's not market value. It was stupid. You can say it was market value. It was stupid because you could have got a defensive end at number 8. You could have got a defensive end at number 8. You didn't have to go spend that money for Trey Flowers. You was in a defensive end rich draft, bro. Appreciate it, Streetwise Television. You was in a defensive end heavy draft, but you the only team that went to go spend big other than the franchise tag on the defensive end. Tampa need defensive end. Did Tampa go out there and spend big on one? No. Oakland need defensive end. Did they go out there and spend big on one? No. Who else around in our draft pick? You know? Plenty of guys need defensive end. But they ain't go out there and break the bank for Trey Flowers. They said, shit, we're going to ride with Nick Bosa. We're going to ride with Farrell. We're going to ride with Montez Sweat. We gonna ride with the rest of them. For what? What you getting defensive end for? You just paid them 15 to 17 million. Fuck, I'm getting another one for. You know they going for a tight end or offensive tackle. Man, I hate to make this about. I'm gonna just stay on point right now. Are we done talking about that? Let's look at this dude history, bro. Taylor Decker didn't work out at left tackle. They haven't even gave him his 5th year. I don't think they made a. They sure they're gonna exercise his 5th year option. That'll be next year to come up. Okay, not this year. So we're looking at that. You sit there, take Ragnar last year. When you need a middle linebacker like the tackling Dutchman, but maybe they still believed in Davis. Okay, they take the offensive lineman last year. I mean the Ragnar. Ram Blacksky was a Mayhew pick. All right, get to the right side of the line. TJ Lang didn't work out. TJ Lang didn't work out at all. All right, he was old. He was beat up. It's that signifies what Detroit is about. Detroit is all about bringing old, beat up stars here. Man, it was Chris Webber. Man, it was James Stewart back in the day. I won't say he was a big star, but James Stewart back in the day, bringing Reggie Bush, bringing in beat up Nate Burleson. He had been around the block, Minnesota, Seattle a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Who else they done brought in here? Chris Webber, Antonio McDyess. I mean, that's what the city is about. You know what I'm saying? They want to give value, cheap owners here. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Rick Wagner on the right side. There you go. Wagner ain't been shit since he left Baltimore. So you got to think, if Wagner and TJ Lang was so good, why didn't Green Bay and Baltimore retain them? You got to go back to Trey Flowers. Trey Flowers was worth $15 to $17 million. That means he an impact player. It's hard to replace. That's hard to replace players. You don't see impact players move to Austin unless you stupid like Oakland. You don't see Denver giving up Von Miller. They thought about it, but they said, hell no. So we shall see. But back to the offensive side, he been sucking on offensive lineman. Can he evaluate an offensive lineman? If he take another offensive tackle in the first round, like, damn, my nigga, like, man, you done missed. You done missed more than me trying to hit a baseball. Yeah, email me. I'm down. Let me make sure I updated my description. Hold on. Give me a minute. I don't think I updated my description. Give me a minute. Oh, yeah, I did. You email me. Should be in there. Description. Yeah, man, all I'm saying is his evaluation of offensive lineman ain't too good. I ain't saying that he ain't doing a better job than Mayhew, sorry ass. Mayhew had one good draft, and that was the Agnew draft, I think. Not the Agnew draft, but the Quadric Diggs draft. I might be wrong. And I'll be back doing draft blasts as well, too. But I can't remember. Mayhew had one really good draft. We did draft blast on it, man. I can't remember what year it was. But he had a dope draft one year, but that was the only great draft he had. But Quinn seemed to hit those middle round picks better than Mayhew did. Now the first round draft picks, Decker, I thought Decker was going to be a star, but when he hurt his shoulder, that's tough to come back from. I see a lot of older dudes in the gym I worked out with. They say when that shoulder go, they never the same. So they really warming it up the whole workout, no matter what they doing. Legs, quads, calves, core, chest, obviously shoulders, back, push and pull, whatever it is. They constantly warming up that shoulder with a 5-pound plate or a 5-pound 2.5 dumbbell throughout the workout. So I don't blame that bad evaluation on Bob Quinn because Taylor Decker had a good rookie year. But that second year he hurt his shoulder. I just don't think he ever got a time to recover. He rushed back, and I think he should have took his time because the shoulder is composed of a lot of small muscles. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't. I blame the injury on Taylor Decker. Maybe this offseason he take it slow and let it heal a little bit more. But it's hard. But as far as the offense, the free agency with Wagner and Lang. Now, what if Wagner ain't that bad? Maybe it's because he played, maybe the left guard position wasn't consistent for him to play next to, but he must have a lot of dead money if they cut him. But those three ain't really worked out, even though Taylor Decker worked out before, when he first got here out of Ohio State. But Lang and Wagner never worked out. Man, be Lang with injuries. And I wish he would retire and preserve the rest of his head health. But But those ain't worked out. Tight end, wouldn't call it an epic fail. Obviously, Jim Bob Cooter didn't know how to use Eric Ebron. And I said that before. I said Jim Bob Cooter don't know how to Eric Ebron, he didn't know how to use Eric Ebron. Eric Ebron was used perfectly in Indianapolis. Did he drop balls? Absolutely. I watched a lot of that game. He dropped a ton of balls, this year. But he was more comfortable in the balls that luck through. It ain't because the difference between arm. It was a difference between he was getting vertical in the Colts offense. Wheel routes, 9 routes, post. It wasn't running a lot of post routes down the middle because, I think he couldn't really catch the ball in traffic like that. But he was, and then they would counter with comeback routes a little bit. The comeback route is when you go upfield and they might play deep off you. And they used to okay, we know Eric Ebron gonna run a fly route, 9 route, or we're gonna run a post route, So we're gonna back off Ebron. We're gonna put a safety, gonna back off of him. That's when you get about 10 yards upfield, maybe 12 yards upfield, plant the foot and come back to the boundary and catch it. So they had counters to them defending Ebron deep. They would do comeback routes. They would do wheel routes, act like he flashed into the flat, like what Detroit would do with him. He had flashed to the flat, but when you flash to the flat, you wheel upfield, you go upfield, and you get a mismatch, especially in zone coverage. If you get confused, he wide open. He did a ton of that. He did a ton of work in the seams, so they utilized him better. So it's how can I say it? It was coaching. And I exposed Jim Bob Cooter for not being able to utilize the tight end. Anthony said, Sia, did you ever think about calling their executive office and taking it out on them after a couple of drinks? They gonna ban me. I like going to Ford Field. At least once a year I try to go. But the Patriots let Khalil go. They had Chandler Jones. Excuse me, I'm trying to get there. Give me a second. He said they had Chandler Jones. They let him go. He's a beast. Is on a week. Yeah. Chandler Jones. It's always going to be a blip. It's always going to be a exception to the rule. Chandler Jones did an amazing job in Arizona. They just didn't want to pay him. So, but and somebody said Pettigrew was way more consistent than Ebron. The reason why Pettigrew was more consistent than Ebron is because Pettigrew was built for the offense they was using him in. The Lions use their tight ends as timing pattern quarterback, timing pattern route runners. Ebron is not a timing pattern route runner. You can't tell Ebron to run 5 yards and stick between the zone. That ain't Ebron game. That's easy. Run up maybe 3 to 5 yards, find a soft spot in the zone, turn and get it. He can't catch in traffic. Pettigrew can run the end routes. He can run the drag routes. He can run those crossing routes, some shallow crossing routes. He can run those out routes. He can run those stick routes, those comeback routes. He can run the post routes in between, in between the safeties and behind the linebacker. Pettigrew caught the balls you didn't expect him to catch. That's a fact. Pettigrew caught the balls you did not expect him to catch. He can catch in traffic. But it was easy balls that he dropped, but he was more made for what the Lions wanted to do. Block and run timing patterns. Ebron can't run timing patterns yet. The best timing pattern route he could run was that comeback route I think he ran versus Houston this year. That's the best he can run. Why they didn't mess with Luke Wilson this year? Why Luke Wilson didn't work? Because Luke Wilson is the same tight end as Eric Ebron. Luke Wilson is a tight end that get downfield and is fast. Luke Wilson is good. He is fast. I ain't gonna say good, but he's formidable. He reminds me of Ebron. They get downfield and use their speed. Look at Jim Bob Cooter offense. Everything was tight end going to the flats, tight end running a little end route, shallow crossing route. It was the same routes. It was no variety. He really didn't start working the seams to the end of the year. He should have been working the seams, working the deep post route with Luke Wilson, lining Luke Wilson up in the slot, post corner route, double moves route. Luke Wilson can run. He don't do good with those type of tight ends. Luke Wilson ain't a guy that's going to really run precise routes underneath. He want to get downfield. Toyota just a filler, bro. He ain't going to be no star. He caught the ball better than I knew he'd catch the ball from Atlanta, but he ain't going to be no star. But if Darrell Bevel don't have a great history of using tight ends that I can remember, because he didn't utilize Jimmy Graham the right way, and it looked like Jimmy Graham washed up as quote-unquote the greatest story of the football. Aaron Rodgers couldn't get Jimmy Graham going. So maybe Drew Brees is the only one that can get Jimmy Graham going. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, those are tough couple problems on the offensive side. We looking at running back. Obviously, Tevin Coleman signed a 2-year, $10 million deal yesterday. I'm not sure how it broke down, how the money broke down, but I feel that that's the guy that could have helped the Lions. But I really wasn't on his bandwagon. I wasn't impressed after Devontae Freeman went down last season. I wasn't impressed with him. Like he's slowing down a little bit. And like he's slowing down a bit. So I wasn't a fan of getting Tevin Coleman. I thought he would get way more money than that because they have up to they had, you know, him high on the Sports Illustrated free agent poll. But that would have been a nice gift for the Lions to get Tevin Coleman and put his speed with Kerryon Johnson. But obviously they probably be looking to grab another running back deep in the draft, in my opinion. Jay Ajayi is still out there. That's if he come back healthy. Fred said Ebron was trash for the Detroit Lions. We had to take the trash out. He wasn't trash for the Indianapolis Colts. It wasn't just Ebron being trash and the media pressuring him and the fans pressuring him. Ebron was trash because he wasn't being utilized right. When we gonna wake up and call the Lions coaching for not being able to coach? Anthony say that's why we got now a real offensive coordinator. It's the same thing. Bob Quinn equal to Jim Bob Quinn learning on the job. True. But, you know, Darrell Bevel don't have a great history of using tight ends. You know, they had a couple guys. Luke Wilson had some good years with him. And they developed, you know, they just, I don't know, it could have been Russell Wilson. You know what I'm saying? You know, maybe he didn't really feel comfortable utilizing the tight ends. But he utilized the new guy they got last year a little bit. He was a nice, fast little kid. Forget his name. But, you know, so we talked about the offensive line. Left tackle, right guard, maybe knees coming up. Maybe not this year for left tackle, maybe next year, depending on how Taylor Decker do. We talked about Ragnow and Graskowel. We need a running back, not receiver. Like I said, I had no problem with the Danny Amendola move. Would I move up to get Kyle Murray? I probably would if I believed that he was going to be that guy. But if I moved up for a quarterback, it would be him. But just thinking about it now, you know, I probably will wait a couple years with Stafford. If I didn't get Tyreek Jackson this year or Stedman from Auburn and develop him as quarterback this year, I would think about waiting until Trevor Lawrence came out, in my opinion. But I mean, if you trade Stafford in June, after June, I think it is, it's only a $10 million cap hit. You know, but at that point, who would need a quarterback? That's what you got to ask yourself. You know, or you can have Kyle Murray develop on the staff. I like Kyle Murray. You know, strong kid for his size, fast. Give him a year to develop under Stafford. You know, I wouldn't be mad at it, but you're going to give up a ton to get him. You're going to give up a ton to get him. But I just look at the quarterbacks that's coming up. You know, Herbert and Tua and Trevor Lawrence in a couple years. I would tend to want to wait, you know, but, you know, you ain't going to dump Stafford off too is the question. What if Stafford have a terrible year this year, get injured or something, and nobody his value drop? You know, you can't get nothing but a 7 for a 6-round pick for him. It's just, you know, it's kind of what you're saying. I like Kyle Murray. You know, I didn't like him at first, but I like him now, you know. But to be honest, man, with the receiver position, you know, Powell and Danny Amendola going to have it out for it, man. I hope they give Powell an equal opportunity to go up against Danny Amendola and win that job. And they just don't hand that job to Amendola. But, you know, it won't matter, though. Ozone Lord Boy say Stafford should be traded to the Giants. Yeah, might as well. You know what I'm saying? But he don't play good out in the cold like that, though. But he got the arm to cut it through that wind, though. You know. But, yeah, I hope they give Powell an opportunity, but it won't matter. Amendola gonna get injured. You know what I'm saying? He says there's no there's no guarantee that we'll be able to get Trevor Lawrence in the draft. He might go number 1 in the draft of the year. That means he got to be the worst team. And I'm gonna explain that in a minute. Watch me work. I'm gonna explain that in a minute. But finish the receiver talk off. I like Kenny Galladay and Marvin Jones outside. I just thought we needed a burner down the field. And Brandon Powell got some good speed, but he's more quick and a slot receiver, bro. bro, man. But he can play. You know, him and Amendola should battle it out. But I mean, I really don't see receiver being a big need for the Lions. I don't see it being a big need. You know why? Because it ain't gonna matter. You had Calvin Johnson, Nate Burleson. You had all types of people around Matthew Stafford. Stafford ain't gonna make no receiver. Stafford don't throw always a catchable ball. Stafford don't make nobody better than that offense. That offense and receivers make Stafford look better than he is. Like last year in the San Francisco game, that Joker missed like 4 touchdowns in that game. And then the one he hit to Kenny Galladay, it was a bad ball. This dude still ain't progressing, man. He came in last year terrible. I know we was preaching. A lot of dudes on YouTube was preaching, be patient. All these lies about Patricia, the Lions to get it together. Shit, they ain't come out there like they wanted to play for Patricia for shit. You know, they didn't come out there wanting to play for Patricia. And they came out there tired. Stafford had twins. He was missing 4 picks versus the Jets. You know, I remember that Frisco game. He missed about 4 or 5 touchdowns in the first half, excuse me. And then in the second half, he was missing throws too. That Joker was, man, missing. He missed Marvin Jones a couple times. But I knew when he missed Marvin Jones in the Jets game, I knew Marvin Jones was still hurt from the training camp. So it really don't matter. What they need to do is invest into another running back. It was a guy from Memphis. I'm going to start doing draft blasts after this weekend. It's a guy from Memphis I like. The guy from Alabama I like. I don't know if they'll fall to the second or the third, but he need to get him a running back to pair with Kerryon and Zach Zenner, and they're going to run the ball heavy this year. Make Stafford the manager he need to be. You know, somebody got mad at me because I said make him a game manager by handing the ball off. That is, you know, Drew Brees is a glorified game manager now. They run the ball a ton, dump it off in the flats. That's what Tom Brady is, a glorified game manager. Ain't nothing wrong with that, you know. I think the Lions was losing on purpose. Matthew said, man, if they lost on purpose last year, we should have a better draft spot then, right? They should have went on and tanked, in my opinion. Stafford must have been playing for some incentives in his contract or something like that. Or just to say he played 16 games. You see Aaron Rodgers faked the injury last game, but let me talk about that Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to switch to the Pistons, man. About Trevor Lawrence, what I would do is, if I really want to trade back for a tight end, I would start trading back, you know, this year and collecting picks in the future or later this draft and keep trading back and collecting picks. If the Lions bad next year, I trade back and I collect the number of picks the next 2 years, and then I would use all my picks that I collected and go get Trevor Lawrence. That's what I would do. They want to trade back for TJ Hockenson. I'm telling you, that's what they want to do. If I trade back and I get some second and a third round pick, I say give me a second this year and a third next year. I trade my second this year for another second for another team or first next year. I'll start collecting picks for Trevor Lawrence in 2 years. I have a ton of picks. You know, and whoever got the number 1 pick, I have a gang of picks for their ass. That's what I would start doing now. But that's if you want to go after him. You never know. What if he go out there and he injure himself? We go out there and he get caught up in some type of BS out there, and he don't make it to the NFL, or some Sean Oakman shit start happening to him. You know, so you really don't want to wait 2 years like that. What I would do is take Tyreek Jackson, develop Tyreek Jackson. Darrell Bevell has a good rapport with mobile quarterbacks. Tavares Jackson, Russell Wilson. That's what I would do. Don't hop back on Stafford nuts. We get to, man, I don't give a shit, man. Yeah, when he get to the playoffs, okay. Yep, you're right, John Martin. Don't hop back on Stafford. I won't. I'm tired of that motherfucker, man. I'm tired. And I ain't saying that this is all his fault, okay? I'm not saying it's all his fault. This organization will do that to you. But really, for 10 years of mediocrity and his, 458,000 record against winning teams, man, shit. If he ain't been shit for 10 years, he ain't going to be shit for years to come. This is a make-or-break year for him with Darrell Bevell, man. Real talk. It's a make-or-break year for him. We'll see. Maybe he just beat up from being in Detroit. Maybe Detroit ruined him because Joey Harrington didn't make it this long. Scott Mitchell didn't make it this long. Charlie Biatch didn't make it this long. Remember they used to call him that. Detroit fans used to call him that. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. So, So, like I said before, I don't put the blame on Matthew Stafford. Look at the coaching. Look at Eric Ebron. He leaves Detroit and he blows up. Detroit responsible for Matthew Stafford being wore down and not having the coach. Remember, he inherited the 0-16 team. So this is not an indictment on Matthew Stafford, 100% indictment. This is an indictment on the Fords and the Lions organization, the coaching staffs that had him. So don't make it seem like we mad at Stafford. Stafford survived some shit that many other quarterbacks couldn't survive. It's not all his fault. I'll be the first to tell you that. I protect Stafford on that all day. This city, well, I ain't gonna say the city, this organization tried to kill Stafford. You know, if Stafford was somewhere else, Stafford probably have a ring or two. But that's what it is. Let's talk about the Pistons. You know, I ain't watched the last couple Pistons games, man. Obviously, yesterday I was a little bit busy, man. Did a ton of videos on my other channel, man. So I'm trying to make up if I don't do anything on the weekend, trying to make that up, make sure everybody got content. But they lost to the Heat last night, and I like the Heat team. I think the Heat team is underachievers. They got a ton of talent, but they lost about over 30 points last night. Only had 8 points in the third quarter. I don't know what happened in the third quarter, but it's a chance that the Pistons might not make the playoffs. I was looking at this earlier. And they winning streak. Hold on. They was on a 6-game winning streak. And before that, they had beat the Heat before that by over 20 points in Miami. I don't know what happened. They was on a nice little winning streak before that, you know, too. But, you know, the teams that they beat, you know, going back to, let's say the Hawks game, they beat the Hawks. The Hawks not going to the playoffs. They playing better. They blew out Miami. That's a playoff team. They lost to the Pacers. That's a playoff team they lost to. They lost to the Spurs. That's a playoff team. They beat Cleveland, not a playoff team. They beat the Raptors without Kawhi. That's a playoff team either way. They beat the Timberwolves. That's not a playoff team. They beat the Bulls, not a playoff team. They beat the Bulls again, not a playoff team. They lost to the Nets playoff team. They lost to the Miami playoff team. So I hadn't really been looking on how good the teams they've been playing is. I've been looking at Andre Drummond, you know, actually playing like a man, playing like a dog. And if Andre Drummond plays like a dog and he get that support from Luke and Reggie, and Blake Griffin is wore down. If you ask him about Blake Griffin, he wore down. You know, I just know we keep losing. We better go after RJ. It's too late. It's too late. They should have been tanking. They should have had traded Dre or Blake Griffin. They attempted to trade Andre Drummond, and maybe that's what lit a fire under him. They attempted to trade him. Memphis didn't want him. So they attempted to trade Andre Drummond, but it's too late to tank. It's too late to tank. You need to go get it now. You know, it's like they wore down. Okay, he been watching them. Obviously, I've been watching a lot of the stretches. I didn't watch the Miami and the Nets game. So if they are wore down, or is it just they've been playing subpar competition? Is the question. Because it looked like they ain't been whooping on nobody. They whooped with the Raptors, and you know that's about it. In Miami a couple weeks ago. So if you look at the stretch tomorrow, they playing the Lakers. I'm not going to that game. I was supposed to go. My girl got to work. We going to the Raptor game on Sunday. So they play the Lakers at home. I believe they should beat the Lakers. They play the Raptors at home. They've been playing the Raptors close with or without Kawhi before. So that's 50-50. They should be able to beat the Cavaliers. They should be beating the Suns. They going to Phoenix, though. That's next Thursday. But then listen to this. Listen to this stretch. Listen to this stretch. This stretch is about to get horrible. Portland at Portland. They got a West Coast swing at Portland, at Golden State, at Denver. Then they come back home versus the Magic, who fighting for a playoff spot. Versus Portland again. Versus Indiana. Versus Indiana away in the home. Versus the Oklahoma City Thunder that's fighting for seeding. Versus the Hornets, who I don't think we beat all season. And the Grizzlies and the New York Knicks. It's a good chance that the Pistons won't make the playoffs. It's a chance that they won't make it. Did you hear the stretch they got? They haven't beat the Hornets. They haven't beat the Hornets this year, I don't think. They did beat the Thunder this year. I think they might not have beat the Pacers, so the Pacers twice back-to-back. Portland, Miami fighting for their life. A short West Coast swing from, I'm going backwards, Nuggets, Warriors, you know, Blazers, you know, Lakers, Raptors this Friday and Sunday. That's a tough stretch. That's a tough stretch to go down to. And if you wore out and you about to play the Lakers Friday, you play the Raptors Sunday, and then a couple more days down the road, March 23rd, you start in the West Coast swing, it's a chance they may not make it. This ain't me being a hater or nothing like that. This is being objective. You know? So they got to continue to get the support from Reggie, Luke Kennard, and Andre Drummond. Blake Griffin is really, really wore out. I think Blake Griffin should have took a couple of them games off with the Bulls and some of these games he should have took off. He wore down. You got to remember he had the team on his back. He had the team on his back. Blake Griffin is nuked. This is a tough. I didn't notice how tough they stretch was how tough their games were down the stretch. You know? And you got Orlando. I mean, they ain't got no guard play. Fournier and Terrence Ross, I don't think they're going to make it regardless. But right now, Charlotte out by 2 games. I didn't notice Charlotte wasn't there. They out of it by 2 games. So we up 5 games on Miami. You know what I'm saying? So we should get in there. No, I'm going to call Thon Maker a bust. Nah, too early, too young. How old is Thon Maker? Give me a minute. He might not be his real age, though, but catch my drift. Give me a minute. 22 years old. Nah, he far from done, bro. He far from done. You expecting Thon Maker to come in here and ball out. We just got to continue to develop. You know what I'm saying? But the whole thing about the Pistons is that, like, it's going to be critical that they get the support from Galloway. It's going to be critical to get support from Ish Smith, Glenn Robinson, and Kennard and Reggie. I can't stress it enough. Kennard and Reggie is going to be like, we're not going to make it without them two. Kennard and Reggie, we're not going to make it without them. They got to play good. And when Reggie don't play good, Ish Smith got to play good. But it ain't no room for Kennard not to play good. Kennard got to shoot the ball and be assertive. You know, I'm giving Kennard the James Harden green light because Blake Griffin is wore down. 1991 Max Thing salute. He got to step up. That's the one right there that got to step up. You know what I'm saying? And Reggie Jackson I don't know what's going on with him. Maybe it's just he's just not going to be a consistent player. But, you know, Blake Griffin is done. He need a rest. You know, and it ain't nowhere for him to rest. They should have got the rest out versus Atlanta. But look, the Lakers, the Raptors, the Cavaliers, the Suns, I would think about resting them versus the Cavaliers and the Suns. The Suns started West Coast trip, but the Suns been playing a lot better lately. So the Cavaliers, I'll try to give them some rest at. Possibly the Lakers tomorrow, I'll try to give them some rest. You know, you want to give Blake Griffin some time off, for real. You really do. Because he wore down. I would think about, what's up, Sean? I think about resting them versus the Lakers, man. That's my personal opinion. Bro. You know, but hey, he said, you know, John Martin said, I work highway construction. Tell them that's why they rest the rest of it. But I mean, when you know Blake Griffin history, him and Chris Paul always got injured in the playoffs. So I mean, what good are we if Blake Griffin get injured? What good are we if Blake Griffin had what he had last night? I know it wasn't that good. Give me a minute. Blake Griffin played 30 minutes, gave you 13 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Blake Griffin ain't built like that. You know, he did a lot to improve his stamina, his durability this year, but obviously he wore out. Don't forget, this motherfucker was carrying the team as a big man. You know, as a big man, he carrying the team. You know, you see Tracy McGrady. He was supposed to team up with Grant Hill in Orlando. He carried that team for several seasons, and we got to Houston. It was time to win. His body broke down. Kobe Bryant, you think after Shaq left, that didn't play a part on Kobe Bryant not having the longevity he should have had? Going out there scoring 63, 63, 81, and being wore down, going 105. Yeah, that played a part in it. You know, James Harden gonna suffer the same fate. When you go out there and play all the minutes every game, and you dominate the ball, you shoot, you got the green light, and the offense beginning and start with you. At the end of the day, your body can't hold up, especially when you're making deep playoff runs too. You know, you got to get that rest. You know what I'm saying? That's why Larry Brown kept them Pistons on the pitch count. Larry Brown, the Pistons be hot as fish grease. Larry Brown had like a job rotation. Like when you go to your job or you work at a restaurant or whatever they rotate the schedule at, maybe you're CN, you get this weekend off, then you work this weekend. Larry Brown had them on the schedule. You know, a lot of NBA coaches don't do that no more. They go on field. You got to have these dudes on the schedule to preserve themselves. You know, you got to have them guys on, especially with Blake Griffin. He should have had more rest management. Show that Reggie Jackson, he needed a ton more rest management. But Luke Kennard, he got his knee together. He got a ton of rest on that bench. You know, ton of rest on the bench. But Luke Kennard is going to go. Dre going to do what Dre going to do, okay? Dre had 5 and 9 last night. It was a pathetic performance for him, okay? Oh, it was pathetic for him. You know, he didn't go against Whiteside really. Whiteside had 13, 11, 20 minutes, but it was a bad performance. Maybe the Pistons went out there and they partied in South Beach and turned up. They had just whooped on the Heat. They said, man, we're going to turn up with these mojitos and these and this hen dog, and we're gonna roll over Miami. We're going to roll over the Heat. We rolled over them last time. Maybe they're thinking like that. Oh, we beat them last time. Let's go party in Miami. No, we need to be on business. Now, we about to go out to Silicon Valley and play the Warriors. We got to be on business. We going out to Phoenix, and Phoenix ain't nothing to slouch on. Phoenix got a nice little nightlife. Hey, man, we can't sleep on Phoenix. We can't. Portland ain't shit to do up in Portland probably, so we'll be all right in Portland. But we got to take this shit serious. We got to find some way to rest Blake Griffin so he can get, rejuvenated, man. But other than that, I ain't worried about it, but they got a tough schedule coming down the stretch, man. I believe they still will make it because they several games up on Miami, and Charlotte and Magic. We 4 games up on the Magic in the loss column. They got one less game than Magic. That's why than the Hornets. Excuse me. The Magic got one more loss than the Hornets, but the Hornets is 1 game behind them. That's why they up. But we 5 games ahead of the Magic. So is it possible that we could still miss the playoffs? Yeah. Because once again, we got the Lakers, Raptors at home coming up. We in Cleveland, ain't no thing. We in Arizona, they playing better. We in Phoenix, excuse me. Trailblazers, West Coast Swing start with Phoenix, Trailblazers, Warriors, Nuggets. We can easily lose all 4 of those games or 3 or 4 of those games. Easily. Come back versus the Magic, you lose that game, that's 5. Portland again at home. That's another tough one. Away and home with the Pacers, back-to-back. The Thunder, the Hornets, they fall number. I don't think we beat them this season. The Grizzlies, they ain't shit the Knicks. So, damn it, it could be close. But if the Pistons miss the playoffs, if the Pistons miss the playoffs, man, you be prepared to hear y'all motherfuckers should have tanked. I ain't gonna be the one that to say it. They should have tanked for Zion. If they missed the playoffs. If they celebrate making the 8th seed, so be it. Because we was the 8th seed a couple years ago and got beat by competitive sweep by Cleveland. But in the way in the NBA, and I said it again, I said it before, and I said it again. He said Henry Ellington is balling in New York. I can believe it. I would say this before if I close it out, and I say it again, all right? The way you get the way you get players to mid-level markets like Detroit is that you got to be bad in the draft. You got to tank. The Pistons, and I say it again, I shut the fuck up about it. They was winning. But the Pistons don't have a team that's complete enough to ever be a threat in the Eastern Conference. They don't have a team that's complete enough. And when I say you got to have the size in the right places, how they say a woman got to have the sizes in the right place. Same thing with the Pistons. This ain't the 80s and 90s no more. They have turned the big man game into a guards and a wing game. So the Pistons' 2 best players are a center and power forward. You know what I'm saying? They have the center and power forward. Going forward to progress to be a threat in the East after, let's say, Giannis might leave or Kyrie might leave and Boston fall off or eventually Philadelphia fall off, you got to be able to have guard play in this league. And Reggie Jackson ain't that guy. You got to be able to have a wing. Blake Griffin is a good substitute, but you need a ball handler. At some point, they're going to have to part ways with Blake Griffin and or Andre Drummond if they really want to be a threat in the East and go get guards. That's as simple as it got to be. You need guards and you need a formidable big guy. But I believe they still will make it. Orlando just too far out. Charlotte is just too much on Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker is getting some help from Batum and Marvin Williams now. Can't believe he was the number 2 overall pick. But, it is what it is. The league won't give us the first pick no matter what. You ain't got to be the first pick in this draft. You got plenty of talent up there. Ja Morant, Cam Reddish, RJ Barrett, and then you're going to get some stars coming into the NCAA tournament. But really, it is what it is. They're not going to win with big men. It's just not how the league is formed now. Now, if you're able to get a Kemba Walker and put him with Andre Drummond, and then you're able to fill out in the draft, maybe Bruce Brown develop, maybe Kyrie Thomas develop, maybe your first-round draft pick this year, you fuck around and get a hidden gem, that's how you do it. I don't see how stars don't want to play for the Pistons. Y'all had 2 best point guards. I mean, we was the first team to have charter airplanes, private jets. Everybody else was riding on the Greyhound, or riding on team buses, or riding on commercial flights. The Pistons was the first-class organization. People forget that. We was riding on jets and shit. These motherfuckers riding on buses and commercial flights. We was on a private jet. But it's the notion of Detroit. Oh, it's so bad and it's nothing to do. Shit, there's plenty to do in Detroit. Trust me, you got Windsor right there. Same thing about Ohio. Ohio ain't close to Canada. Ain't got the amenities we got, but they got plenty of shit to do. But hey, like I said before, they going to make it, though, for sure. But they got to reevaluate some things this summer to find a guard play. Maybe the guard dropping the draft. They got to really be on their draft and shit. The Pistons really got to be drafting good this year. Like Stephen Oxley, I think he did a good job finding Brown and Kyrie Thomas, but he gotta find Grand Rapids, the 24th safest city in America. It's a family city. It's always been there. I like going to Grand Rapids when I get a chance. But but they gotta draft. They gotta find guard. But the thing about it is this: guards are a dime a dozen. You gonna find a good guard. Real talk. You gonna find a good guard. Ty Jerome. Who he play for? Because I ain't watching a ton of college this year, bro. Just let me know who he play for, so I can check him out. Well, defense is starting with Drummond. Blake Griffin has not been a great defender, but he's been a willing defender this year. I think Casey's done a great job what he had. I think Andre Drummond needs to improve in the middle. But Luke Kennard ain't a great defender. He a willing defender. Virginia, all right, I'm gonna check him out. He like Brogdon or something like that. Virginia used to have them tough guards, tough defensive guards, man. They guards that play good defense. Virginia, they play good defense and they play within themselves. They don't get no players that ain't gonna incorporate their system. Virginia got a good system going. That's why Brogdon was underrated. All they guards, they guards are real. All their team is real solid. They play within themselves. Nothing flashy. Brandon Roy would have been a good Virginia player, man. He went to Washington, but he would have fit Virginia real well back in the day. But Casey they got to identify a guard. They got to identify a guard. That's just what it boiled down to. They got to get a guard, a point guard or a wing. But the good thing about it is you can find those late in the draft, late in the second round. I mean, Isaiah Thomas, Monte Ellis. I mean, you go on and on with guards. You find Ginobili, Tony Parker. You found Giannis Antetokounmpo in the middle of the draft. CJ McCollum fell to the end of, the end of the lottery. So why are they so confused with the zone? Probably because you don't see it a ton in the NBA. And probably because the Pistons can't shoot. They ain't all got great shooters. You can't play a traditional zone in the NBA. You got to play a matchup zone. But, the zone, you got to be able to shoot in the zone. If you can't shoot, it's going to be tough to crack a zone. It'll help if Bruce Brown and Kyrie Thomas develop next season. You got to play to develop for Kyrie Thomas. You got to play to develop. You got to build this stuff up. It'd help if we kept Spencer Dinwiddie and Chris Middleton. That's what it really would have helped. That shit crazy, man. They left, and Spencer Dinwiddie tearing that shit up in Brooklyn. Chris Middleton tearing that shit up in Milwaukee. That shit crazy. They wasn't shooting lights out last night. They wasn't shooting lights out last night, but maybe just an off night. You go to Miami. You go on a party and sip pina coladas and daiquiris and Patron shots to Henny. So they probably was partying last night. Yeah, Isaiah Thomas would be a good fit for the Pistons next year if he get his hip together. Yeah, he get healthy. I mean, I take a chance on him. He ain't garnishing that much money, or he ain't asked for that much money. They was in Miami last night. It don't shock me. Go to Miami. You ain't gonna be thinking about hooping. Drummond was at the bar. Drummond was on the beach. But they need to get Blake some rest though, man. But I got a couple questions. I'll answer a couple questions. I gotta wake my girl up for work. Ask a couple questions. But yeah, man. For real, man. It should be interesting, man. It should be real interesting. Real interesting, man. But we shall see. We shall see. I'm gonna get some questions. Yeah, make sure I check out my other page, Goodfellas Sports TV. We talk everything over there. You ain't gonna be mad. We talk everything over here, over there. There we go. See, Casey said he's not giving any time off. Well, shit, that's gonna kind of hurt Blake Griffin. At least scale his millions back a little bit. When y'all come to LA, Blake will party all night. They already came there twice, I think. They came there for the Lakers and the Clippers back to back. So you're about ready for March Madness. You're about ready for March Madness. And what is the Wolverines going to do? They're going to make it to the finals. I do watch them. Okay. I do watch them. I do watch a little bit of Michigan State. Both Beeline and Tom Izzo are tournament coaches. I seen Michigan State got the Big Ten title off us the other day, but they are tournament coaches. Anything can happen. As long as Tom Izzo don't run into Duke, he can make it. And then they get one of them big fellas back. I don't know if he came back. Somebody was hurt for them. I don't know the name. So they'll get healthy. I think Tom Izzo get hot around this year. So do John Beeline. It wouldn't surprise me if both of them made a run. It wouldn't surprise me if both of them made a run. A lot of them other teams kind of fold. You know what I'm saying? Virginia made a couple runs, but they kind of fold sometimes. And Gonzaga just lost to St. Mary's the other night. So, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I don't sold in Duke, and they just came up. Zion coming back tonight. Yeah, Nick Ward. Okay. So, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, bro. It wouldn't surprise me. Beeline and Tom Izzo is two of the best coaches, college coaches. They don't get these one and dones or the last one and done. The last one and done I remember they had was Gary Harris, Michigan State. And the last big star they had was Zach Randolph, and I remember. So Tom Izzo is a real college coach, and so is Beeline. Beeline showed he make a lot of adjustments. He made a ton of adjustments. He adjusts to the personnel that he recruit. When he was in West Virginia, he had a Pitt Snoggle. Remember Pitt Snoggle was his name, the white boy that was shooting it. They played that 1-3-1. And they spread it out and they shoot it. Now he got a couple athletes in Michigan. They play a different game. So, I like both of them coaches, man. I would be funny if we got a Michigan versus Michigan State Final Four. Man, they ain't beating us 3 times, bro. Yeah. Yeah, Magic went to the Lakers. All right. But let me log off of here, man. Drew Sneitzel. Drew Sneitzel used to shoot that motherfucker. He had a black guy swagger. Drew Sneitzel. That motherfucker had a black boy swagger, man. Kind of remind me of Jason Williams a little bit. Yeah, Tellman from Michigan State, he been playing good for them. Yeah, man, I'm about to roll out, man. Appreciate y'all for showing love, man. Hit the like button on y'all way out, man. We gone.